The dark sides of living in France. France, a country practically trademarked for romance, elegance, and a certain. From the glittering Eiffel Tower, a monument to love locks and bad proposals, to the charmingly cobblestone streets of Paris, it's a place that practically invented the concept of charm. But, and I cannot stress this enough, behind those picture-perfect postcards and carefully curated Instagram feeds, lies a reality, shall we say, less than romantic. What if I told you the city of light hides shadows so dark no one dares to talk about them? Because we're about to unravel the truth about poverty, homelessness, scams, pollution, and a whole baguette's worth of challenges that go far beyond what those glossy travel brochures show. This, my friends, isn't the France you think you know. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the underbelly, the dark sides of living in France. Now, when you think of Paris, what springs to mind? Chanel bags, probably. Dior dresses, definitely. Michelin-starred meals that cost more than your rent, obviously. But the truth, as it so often does, paints a starkly different picture. Because beneath that carefully curated facade of romantic elegance, over 330,000 people are experiencing homelessness across France. Let that number sink in for a moment. And more than 3,000 of those souls brave the unforgiving Parisian streets during freezing winters, huddled against the chill that seeps through even the most expensive cashmere scarf. We're talking entire families, crammed into makeshift tents, tucked away in the shadows of those bustling boulevards and tourist hotspots. They form communities, you see, amidst the city's splendor, a stark reminder that even in the city of love, love doesn't always conquer all. And it's not just the homeless. Over 12 million French citizens, a number that would make even the most jaded accountant wince, live in substandard housing. We're talking tiny, run-down apartments, places where a hot shower is a luxury and a functioning kitchen is a distant dream. Go north to places like Roubaix, and you'll see it. Abandoned cars rusting like forgotten dreams, crumbling train stations whispering tales of better days. Daily life for many here means skipping meals, burning scrap wood to stay warm, and wondering where their next euro is coming from. So I ask you, can a city truly shine as brightly as Paris claims when its own people live in such darkness? Let's talk about Paris, the city of light, shall we? A city so romanticized, so intrinsically linked with beauty and grandeur. And yet this beacon of sophistication faces an issue so mundane, so utterly unglamorous, it might make your beret spin trash. Imagine, if you will, over 10,000 tons of garbage. Not stacked neatly, mind you, but overflowing from bins piled high on the streets, a monument to consumerism gone wrong. That's the weight of the Eiffel Tower, in garbage every single day. And the Seine River, that iconic ribbon of water, the backdrop for countless romantic strolls and stolen kisses. Well, it's not looking so hot these days, literally. Industrial waste and floating debris have turned this once pristine waterway into, well, let's just say you wouldn't want to fall in. It got so bad, in fact, that it even threw a wrench into the Olympic plans, forcing them to relocate events because the water quality was deemed, and I'm quoting here, unsafe. But wait, there's more, because it's not just the water that's choking. The air quality in Paris frequently breaches those safe pollution levels they tell you about in health class. We're talking PM2, 5 particles, the tiny assassins that love nothing more than burrowing into your lungs and increasing your risk of respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. Romantic, isn't it? So while the skyline might dazzle with its lights, the city itself is, in many ways, choking on its own progress. And it begs the question, could this less than savory side of Paris put a damper on your dream vacation? Chapter 3. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the very expensive baguette in the boulangerie. Because living in France, particularly Paris, isn't just expensive, it's the kind of expensive that would make even the wealthiest oil baron raise an eyebrow. We're talking rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment in a decent arrondissement starting at a cool $1,500 a month. And that's before you factor in utilities, which, let's just say, aren't known for their affordability. For many Parisians, finding an affordable place to live is about as likely as stumbling upon a unicorn riding a baguette on the Champs-Élysées. And the fun doesn't stop there. Groceries? Be prepared to shell out at least $100 every time you step foot in a supermarket. And dining out? Forget about it. Even a simple cafe meal, a croquet monsieur and a glass of wine, might set you back a cool $20. And that's before the tip, which thankfully is usually included because the French understand the concept of irony. And don't even get me started on taxes. France's VAT, or value-added tax, sits at a hefty 20%, which means everything from that vintage bottle of Bordeaux to a simple bouquet of flowers comes with a hefty side of government surcharge. Buying a car, building a life, enjoying the occasional night at the opera, be prepared to open your wallet wider than the Arc de Triomphe because hidden costs are as ubiquitous as baguettes in this country. The romance of Paris, it seems, fades rather quickly when the bills start piling up. So, I ask you, would you still call it a dream destination if that dream came with a price tag that would make your eyes water? Chapter 4. Paris, the city of lights, love, and let's not forget larceny. Because, my friends, Paris isn't just a playground for lovers and art enthusiasts, it's also a veritable buffet for scammers. From those overly friendly locals who just happen to have a spare friendship bracelet they're just dying to tie onto your wrist, for a small fee of course, to the charming con artists peddling fake gold rings that would make even a 5-year-old skeptical, the scams are as varied as the cheeses in a Parisian fromagerie. And don't even think about trying your luck at that classic 3 cups and a ball game. Those seemingly innocent street performers have more tricks up their sleeves than a magician on a caffeine bender. They've got accomplices, you see, lurking in the crowd, ready to fleece unsuspecting tourists like sheep in a beret factory. And then, there's the art of pickpocketing, a skill so finely honed in Paris, it should be considered an Olympic sport. Tourists, enchanted by the Louvre's masterpieces or the Notre Dame's grandeur, often find themselves admiring the architecture of their empty wallets moments later. It's like a ballet of thievery, graceful, efficient, and utterly infuriating. But wait, there's more. Because even your trusty transportation isn't safe. Some ride-sharing services and taxis have been known to take advantage of wide-eyed visitors, turning a simple trip across town into a sightseeing tour of the city's seediest suburbs. Suddenly that €10 fare has ballooned into a €50 nightmare, and you're left wondering if you accidentally booked a ride with the French equivalent of Bonnie and Clyde. So while the city might sparkle, safety, it seems, is not guaranteed. Tourists are advised to stay vigilant, to guard their belongings with the ferocity of a mama bear protecting her cubs, and to always, always be wary of overly friendly strangers bearing gifts. Because in Paris, just like in life, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. The question is, with scams lurking around every corner like pigeons in a park, can you truly enjoy your visit? Outro. So there you have it, France, in all its flawed, messy, complicated glory. It may dazzle with its beauty, seduce with its charm, but it's clear that not everything is as picture-perfect as those postcards would have you believe. The poverty, the pollution, the scams, the social challenges, they all paint a picture that's far from the romanticized fairy tale many imagine. But here's the thing, those shadows, those imperfections, they're all part of what makes France real. They're the grit in the oyster, the crack in the Mona Lisa's smile, the unexpected plot twist in the romantic comedy of French life. Would you still visit knowing what you know now? Would you still stroll along the Seine baguette in hand with the knowledge that just beyond those charming streets, a different reality exists? Or does this glimpse behind the curtain, this peek into the underbelly of the French dream, make you reconsider? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this documentary as eye-opening as a morning croissant, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got a whole world of destinations to demystify, a whole host of uncomfortable truths to unpack. Until then, au revoir.